here today with a assumptions tag video. Now, this was going around a while ago, and it's basically ask your Instagram followers what their assumptions are about you. So you guys just see like little bits and pieces of my life through Instagram or on YouTube, but I'm just curious to know what you guys assume, like your assumptions about who I am or about my life. And it's a little bit scary to think about what people think of you. But I actually was reading through them, and there was no mean ones, which I was like, whew, you guys are awesome, because I'm always scared of what negative things people think about me. But I was really pleasantly surprised that you guys all had pretty good assumptions about me, or nothing particularly negative. So anyways, I am gonna get into these assumptions, but before I do, if you are new, welcome to my channel. My name is Cassie. I hope you enjoy this video. You can decide to stay a while by hitting that subscribe button. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and hit that notification bell. That way you're notified of any new videos that come out. And without further ado, let's get into the assumption tag. So there's quite a few assumptions you guys had, and I just figured I would start going through them and kind of fill you guys in. It's a great way to get to know people a little bit more too. So I just think it's super fun. So first one says, I think you moved into your new home earlier than you were advised to. And I don't quite know what that means. We couldn't obviously move into our house until we closed escrow, and we couldn't close escrow until we sold our house. So we weren't advised when to move into our house. So I'm not quite sure what that one means. We moved into our house once it recorded with the county and we got our keys. So I'm not too sure about that one. All right, the next one is that you are obsessed with all things fall right now: drinks, clothing, decor. I totally love fall. It's my favorite season. Fall, and then spring, and then winter and summer. I'm not a big summer person. I don't know if it's because I'm from Alaska. The summers here are just too hot. I'm not a huge summer person, but I love the fall. That is by far my favorite. So we like to keep our house fairly cold, which is nice, because then even when it's 100 degrees outside, I can wear a sweatshirt inside the house, which is nice. But I love fall fashion, fall drinks. Pumpkin spice lattes came out. I used to be hardcore for the pumpkin spice. I'm really not so much anymore, and I'm definitely a girl that drinks cold iced coffee year round. But I love fall makeup looks. I love fall clothes. I do love pumpkin treats. But yeah, I definitely am very, very excited for fall. Oh, I also love fall home decor. That's my favorite. Okay, the next is that I get lip fillers. I think I had 2 people that said that. And yes, that's quite obvious. I think if you've watched me for any amount of time, I used to not have a top lip at all. It was so thin, and when I would smile, it was just so much gums and teeth, and it was always making me super insecure, because anytime I would smile, it's I had such a gummy smile, and I hated it. So I think it was about, Ted and I have been together 4 years. It's been about 5 years that I've been doing it. So yeah, I mean, everybody already knows that. So many that are very similar to this, that everyone thinks I'm OCD. And I mean, maybe there's some things that I'm a little bit obsessive about. I'm definitely OCD when it comes to my kids and making sure things are done my way. And I'm a little bit of a control freak when it comes to that kind of stuff. So I'm trying to learn how to not have so much control over how things get done, or their routine. I like things done a very specific way. And so a lot of times I don't ask for help. I'll just do it myself, because I know it gets done the right way if I do it. But this one says you're an OCD clean freak and everything has its home. Now, I wish I was. I try to be. There's definitely certain aspects of my life that I'm OCD clean freak about. But there's a lot of aspects about my house that definitely aren't super clean. But I do like to have things really tidy. But I'm not over the top. So I'm kind of a happy medium. I'm not a slob, but I'm not so far off the other end of the spectrum. All right, the next is you are the most kind, talented, and all-around wonderful human being. That was way too nice. Thank you so much. I definitely don't think I'm the most talented, but I do like to think that I am a kind person. I like to be nice to people. I don't like mean or rude people. I don't like when people are rude or mean, or I don't know, just nasty. So I would think that I'm a kind person, and I mean, I think I'm kind of wonderful. I don't think there's anything wrong with thinking that about yourself. But talented, I wish I was more talented. I do compare myself a lot. It's really easy to do in just even in YouTube world, but also just social media where I'm like, oh dang, I wish I was better at doing my makeup like this, or I wish I had better fashion, or I wish I could, you know, make my house look like that. So I definitely don't think I'm the most talented, but thank you. That's very, very kind of you. The next one is all your shelves and drawers are organized to perfection. I wish. A lot of them are very organized right now, only because we just moved and I like unpacking and getting things organized. So there's quite a few of our kitchen cabinets and kitchen drawers that are really organized. I've been working on the pantry, that's getting really organized. Our closet is getting organized. So there are a lot of aspects of my life that are pretty clean and organized, but it is mainly just because we just moved and I'm trying to go like room by room organizing and cleaning everything. All right, the next is you work out every day. And I wish that were true. Back before I got pregnant, I was hardcore 6 days a week. I mean, in the gym for an hour and a half, burning, 800 to 1200 calories per workout. I used to wear a heart rate monitor and I would track, and I wouldn't leave the gym till I burnt 1,000 calories. So I was hardcore. Then I got pregnant and I was so sick, so I didn't go to the gym for the first trimester. And then when I got back into the gym, I had a hernia, umbilical hernia, so then I got scared and didn't work out the rest of my pregnancy. So it's been a bit of a struggle getting back into the gym. If I can go 4 to 5 days a week, like I feel really good about myself, and I haven't gone in the last month with all the moving craziness. But I did go today at 5:30 in the morning. So I'm hoping to try to get back into a good routine of working out, 4 to 5 days a week. The next is you had braces because your teeth are beautiful. Well, thank you very much. I did do Invisalign for a year. I had pretty straight teeth even before that. They did kind of tilt in a little bit or tilt like back. And so that's why I got Invisalign. But that's really the only thing I've ever had, which I guess could be considered as braces. But I didn't get those until I was like 24, 25 years old. A lot that were like this too. There's, you were born wealthy, you're rich. Are you rich? And that term is such like is it subjective or objective? Anyways, it's so like everybody's definition of rich or wealth is different, right? So in my eyes, no, we're not wealthy. We're not rich in any means, based on my perception of what rich or wealthy looks like. But everybody, like I said, has a very different idea or perception of what wealth and being rich is. We do have a nice home. I think we have a beautiful house, something we worked really hard for. I luckily had quite a bit of equity in my house that we sold, so that obviously helped us in buying this house. And also, like, when you see a house, it's also very relative to where a person lives. So like what we bought this house for in Northern California would probably buy us a shack in LA or San Francisco or New York. But what we paid for this house, if I was in parts of Idaho, parts of the Midwest, certain areas in Texas, I probably could have like a beautiful mansion. Like I could probably have a 7,000 square foot house for the price that we paid for this house. So it's just relative to where somebody lives, what the cost of living is, what the jobs are. So no, I don't think I'm rich. Do I think that we are doing good? Yeah, we save and we're like working towards saving for our retirement as being really young. And I've been saving for my retirement since I was 19, 20 years old. So that's been really important. And so yeah, that's kind of answering that question, I guess. I don't think that we're rich or wealthy. Do I think that we're comfortable? Yeah, I think we're comfortable. But again, rich and wealthy is based on the perception of the person's idea of what wealth or rich looks like. Okay, the next one is I was born wealthy, and I definitely wasn't born wealthy. My mom worked for the state. Well, she's done lots of different jobs, but she worked for the state for a long time. And my dad worked for the Alaska Gold Company, and they worked really, really hard. I never went without anything, but we were never like wealthy or rich by any means. We were just probably like a typical middle-class family. All right, so this next one is, you support Trump. Now I almost didn't answer this one because people are so touchy with politics, and honestly, I don't even like talking about anything political on my channel or on my social media. I will say I am a Republican, but I also have a level of respect for authority. So even if I don't necessarily agree with everything somebody does, I do respect the position that he holds in this country. And it does make me sad how disrespectful people could be towards Trump. And yes, I'm aware of the things that he has said or done, and he definitely should be taken off Twitter a lot of the time. He should have his Twitter suspended often. I can't even go there. I'm not even gonna go into it, but I wouldn't say that I support Trump. I am a Republican, and I do respect whoever is in office as the representative of our country, as the leader of our country. So yeah, I mean, that's as far as I'm gonna go with that, because I just don't want to start a war in the comments. It's just not worth it. All right, the next is, you love all things girly and glam, but could rough it in the wilderness too. Well, I'm originally from Nome, Alaska, which is like literally the middle of nowhere. And when I was younger, I tried to be a tomboy, and I had my friends tell me that I couldn't be a tomboy because I had long hair and I liked girly things. Could I rough it in the wilderness? Possibly. I did go to a wilderness camp when I was younger, and I didn't love it, but I mean, if I had to, I think if anybody had to, they could rough it in the wilderness. I think I could rough it in the wilderness for a couple days. I have camped before. It's just not my favorite. You don't like to cook. I actually do like cooking. I used to love cooking and baking. Once I got pregnant this last time, it really it did a number on me, and I didn't cook for almost a year, I feel like. But now with our new kitchen, I just feel inspired again, and I do actually really love to cook. This next one says, I assume you miss your red hair. And I do miss my red hair sometimes, but I don't miss the maintenance. I had to go get it dyed every 4 weeks, and it just was a lot of work. All right, the next one says, you are very humble. You're appreciative of the little things in life as much as the big ones. That is totally true. Like, obviously, I feel like God has blessed me with some pretty nice things, but I'm also very appreciative and love like the little things as well. I don't need to have, I like having the house that we have, and I like driving the cars that we drive, but do I need those? No. I do appreciate and love like the little inexpensive things in life. I appreciate little moments of beauty, things that don't cost money. Those things actually mean the most to me. Like, when I think back like even just the beginning of Ted's and my relationship, like my favorite moments or the favorite things about like our relationship were like the little things that we did, like looking at the stars or the little notes he would write me. And I love, the jewelry or whatever else he buys, but I love those little other things even more. All right, the next one says, you are laid back and take problems in stride. Yes and no, it really depends. When it comes to my kids, definitely not laid back, and I take nothing in stride. Like, I go from 0 to 100 real quick if it involves my kids. I think that's probably any mom, but yeah, I for sure do. But there's a lot of things that I'm pretty laid back at. I think that I handle stress fairly well. I don't know, you'd have to ask the people around me. I get real quiet when I get stressed. So when there's like issues, like I just kind of have to be quiet and like process things. But I think it just depends on what it is. There's a lot of things that I feel like I'm pretty laid back with, and then there's others that I'm just like 0 to 60. This next one says, you're an amazing mom and never get mad. Well, thank you. I think that I'm a good mom, but obviously I always have room for improvement, and I'm pretty patient, but I can get mad. Obviously not really so much with Liv right now because she's like still a baby. I know that there were times where I'd get frustrated when I couldn't figure out why she was crying and I was sleep deprived. With Ethan, the only thing that really makes me mad or frustrated with Ethan is when he doesn't listen because he's too busy on his iPad. Like that gets me pretty hot pretty quick, or disrespectful behavior or tone. Those two things get me mad. It's like you get one warning and then like you're losing the iPad, you're going to bed early. I don't have a whole lot of tolerance for disrespectful, rude, or bratty kids. So I believe in you respect the authority, you don't talk back, you don't have a sassy tude. When you're being spoken to, you listen. And you know, he does get his iPad or his iPod to play with, and he has gotten it taken away quite a few times because he doesn't listen. Like I'll ask him to do something and it takes like 8 times for him to listen. Those are really the only times I get really, and it's more frustrated than mad. So yeah, that's the only thing I can really think of with Ethan that I ever get mad or frustrated, is just not listening, or if he's being a sassy boy. And then I'm like, check that attitude at the door, buddy. Okay, the next one says, you have lots of clothes, 150 plus items, excluding shoes and underwear. I probably do. Oh my gosh. Just loading up this closet and like unpacking my stuff. I'm like, I have way too much clothes. I need to go through and purge like crazy. I feel like I'm constantly purging though. That's what's so nuts. It says, you and Benji have a good co-parenting relationship. I think we do. I get along with him really well. I think we've found a really good groove. I think we do pretty well. We're really flexible with each other. We're learning how to communicate really well with one another. So yeah, I would definitely say we have a good co-parenting relationship. All right, the next one says, your husband makes amazing money, which is awesome because he's young. Yeah, he definitely has found a good groove in what he does. He does retirement planning. There's a lot of sacrifices with that though. I mean, he does work out of town half the week, which is super hard sometimes. And I know it's temporary. I know it's a sacrifice we're making to set ourselves up for a better position later on in life. So yeah, he does make good money, but it also comes at a price of him being gone, you know, half the week out of town. This next one says, doesn't leave the house without makeup on. That is actually false. Back in the day, I used to never leave the house without makeup on. I wouldn't even go to like coffee and get coffee in a drive-thru without makeup. Now I don't wear makeup quite often. There's like weeks that'll go by where I don't wear makeup for a whole week or 3 or 4 days in the week. I usually, there was another one here that said, oh, what was it? Something about wearing makeup even to the gym. Was that what I just read? No, there's another one that talks about that I always have to wear makeup even to the gym. My thing with that is, if I'm gonna go work out first thing in the morning, like today I worked out at 5:30 in the morning, obviously had no makeup on. If I am going to working out at 4 in the afternoon or noon or 11 or whatever, then yeah, I probably have makeup on because I've already gotten ready for the day, because I have a short window in the morning while Liv's napping that I can get ready. And so if I'm gonna get ready and put makeup on that day, that's the time that I do it. Our gym has wonky hours for childcare, so if she wakes up in time and I can make it to the gym before they close childcare at noon, then I will. But sometimes I can't go till 4 and I have other things I have to do before then. 4 o'clock is when they open childcare again. It's so dumb. They have no childcare between 12 and 4. And so I'm not gonna wash my makeup off to go to the gym, especially if I have other things to do after. And so I do wear makeup to the gym if it's after I've already gotten ready for the day. But if I go early in the morning, then obviously I don't wear makeup. And I'll go to the store without makeup. It doesn't really bother me to not wear makeup. I just like the process of putting on makeup. But it's not like I have to have it on to go out and do stuff, because I do stuff all the time without makeup on. All right, this next one says, you have a good relationship with your ex, but you aren't friends necessarily. Yeah, I would say that that's a good way of putting it. I think like Ted and I both like get along with Benji really well. So, I mean, I would be friends with him. I have no problem being friends with him. I think that we definitely do better as friends than we did as a married couple. We've learned and grown a lot, and we learned how to like communicate with each other and learned each other's like intentions. So sometimes like I'm a mama bear, clearly mama bear. So sometimes I get really frustrated with stuff that I hear that happens at their house. And so I'm learning how to communicate better of like, hey, this is a concern, or I heard this. And without it coming across like I'm attacking him, he's also learning to listen through ears of like, okay, Cassie's heart is for Ethan. She's concerned. She's not attacking me. And like receiving it a little bit better. That was definitely like an issue that we had, was we didn't know how to communicate well, and our filters, our headphones that we were hearing each other through were negative headphones. So no matter what they said, no matter how they said it, we weren't receiving it and understanding the intention of the heart of the other person, if that makes sense. And we've really grown and worked at that, learning how to communicate, learning how to hear each other and what we're actually saying versus like hearing through hurt headphones. So that's been good. But yeah, I mean, we're very friendly and cordial with each other. We get along, we can BS and chat. So yeah, we definitely have a good relationship, but it's not like we're going to coffee or anything. All right, you're private and quiet at first, but once you let someone in, you're fiercely loyal. Absolutely, 100%. It's funny that I got a lot of these assumptions after I just filmed my Q&A tag, and I actually go a lot into friendship and that kind of stuff and things that I struggle with. But yes, I'm definitely a very like quiet person, especially if I'm in a room of people that I don't know. I'm very quiet. I kind of just observe. A lot of people mistake that for being like snobby or stuck up or like not wanting to talk, but it has nothing to do with that. I'm uncomfortable around people that I don't know. I'm not a group person, and I also just like to observe things. I'm a people watcher. So, but I am slow to warm up to people unless we have like immediate connection. But I feel like, here's the thing. I used to always think that I was a very vulnerable person. What I realize is I'm a very transparent person. So it's like, I will tell you anything you want to know about my life. I'm like fine sharing like hurt that I've gone through, sharing struggles, that kind of stuff. But being vulnerable with people is very difficult, which there is a difference between being transparent and being vulnerable. I can tell you I'm an open book when it comes to my life, but when it comes to letting you into my heart, or like letting you speak into my heart or speak into my life about things, like I'm very, that's a lot harder, if that makes any sense. But I am like super loyal. I'm like a ride or die chick. Okay, this one says, you're a go-getter, a hard worker, and motivated. I like to think so. It definitely has ebbs and flows. I feel like the past year and a half, like I feel like I've been a little lost on what I'm doing with YouTube, what I'm doing in life, and that's been a little bit hard, but I'm feeling like I got a new like boost of energy and motivation, which is really exciting because I always have been like a very motivated, hardworking person. And so to kind of feel like I'm not too sure what I'm doing was really, really difficult for me. But I'm feeling good again. Like I'm feeling motivated, I'm feeling inspired. So yeah, I mean, I think at my core, I'm a hardworking person and I'm very motivated and passionate about things. But I definitely did go through a little bit of a lost season there. Okay, another one says, you did a lot of self-work to heal from your divorce and move forward. That's totally true. I did counseling for about a year after. I did like some hard things. Like one of the things that I did was I asked Benji, like, can you write me a list of things that you felt that I did that hurt you in our marriage? I want to grow from that. I want to learn how I can do better. I want to learn how I can improve for my next relationship. I also like, I'm constantly like checking myself to make sure that I don't fall back into old habits of being, thinking inward and being selfish, because I tend, when I get frustrated or offended, I tend to like turn inwards and get kind of like shut down and a little bit selfish. So working hard at not getting that way. So it's an ongoing process. I mean, at the core, you are who you are. You can always improve and change and grow and become better. And I think become more self-aware of habits or things that you've done your whole life, or personality traits that you may have. And so also I think that different people jive differently. And in my previous marriage, we didn't jive well together. Where with Ted and I, like we rarely ever fight. I mean, literally the only things we really argue about is the temperature of the house and like little random bickering here and there, but our communication is really, really good. And it's because he pushes me and forces me. I don't know why I'm doing this because he definitely doesn't do that. He pushes me and forces me to like open up and talk about things because he is a like very good communicator, which is great for me because I wasn't a good communicator. Either was my ex-husband. And so when we both weren't communicating with each other, it just like we didn't know how to work through stuff. So yeah, it's a constant thing. I did a lot of self-heart stuff and mind stuff prior to my relationship with Ted, and I think it obviously was all for the better because is this dead already? No. It obviously was very beneficial because it's made this marriage so much stronger and better, and it's made me better as a person and a mom and a friend and all those other things. So yes, I definitely did do a lot of self-work. Okay, another one says, you enjoy nice things, designer, high-end, and like the lavish lifestyle. Not that it's bad. Yes and no. Like, I love having a beautiful home, and I do like having a nice car. I mean, I don't have like a super fancy car. I drive a Lexus SUV and I really like it. But I don't have like a Lamborghini or any kind of like super fancy sports car. But I love our house, but we worked really hard for it. I don't care too much about name brand clothes or shoes or handbags. I own one name brand thing, and it's my Christian Louboutins. And I bought those because I was gonna wear them for my wedding, and that's literally the one actual like super high-end lavishy thing that I own, other than like some name brand makeup. But I do like them, but I don't really care about that part of stuff very much, if that makes any sense. But I do like having a nice home. But as far as like name brand clothing items and jewelry, I don't really care about it that much. I like them, but I don't have any, mainly because I just don't. Like, Ted's offered to buy me like a Louis Vuitton bag before, and I just have not been able to justify spending the money on it. So, I mean, I could have them, I could buy them, I just choose not. The next one is, you're conservative. I don't know if that means like conservative politics-wise. If it's politics-wise, then yes. If it's just in general, I guess I am a conservative person. Modest? No, I mean conservative. You're conservative. You are conservative. I guess it depends on what you're saying I'm conservative in. Politics, I'm definitely far more conservative in politics. I'm not too sure. But I guess in general, I'm a conservative person. You're shy when you first meet someone, absolutely. Unless I like automatically click. There's very few people that like off the bat we just click. If we're one of those people, then I'm definitely not shy, but in most scenarios I am shy, a little bit more quiet and reserved. You eat super healthy. Oh, I wish. I try to eat healthy. It's really hard for me. I have like I love carbs, I love gluten, and I love sugar. I assume you're a crazy, strong woman for surviving what Benji and your best friend did. Thank you. I like to think that I'm pretty strong. It's definitely a situation that could go, you could go one of two ways with it. I chose to really try to grow from it and learn from it and make myself a better person so that someday I could be a better wife, a better mom. But yeah, I mean, going through something like that is not for the faint at heart. And unfortunately, it happens to a lot of couples. I mean, it happens in a lot of marriages, and it's unfortunate, but I have to say, like, as much as all of that sucked so bad to go through, I'm so incredibly happy. I love my husband so much. I believe he is the person that I'm meant to spend the rest of my life with. We get along, we get along so great. We're best friends, know each other so well. It's just very different. And I'm sure he probably feels the same way about his wife. So yeah, as much as all that sucked, it's good to be in like a very different place now. And I'm just incredibly happy and blessed and love the way that my life is right now. So I feel like God has really redeemed and restored that part of my life like tenfold. That I'm really funny. I personally think I'm hilarious. I always say that I'm the funniest one in our family. I'm so funny that I make myself laugh a lot. So yeah, I definitely think that I am funny. I'm kind of like, I love puns. I have like a little bit of a dirty sense of humor, but only like my close friends ever get to see that side of me because I like to try to like keep it clean. But yeah, I definitely think I'm hilarious. You're an introvert. I definitely am. I think I'm an extroverted introvert, but I'm definitely an introvert. I've seen you handle your divorce with so much grace and poise. Amazing. Thank you. It's a long time ago, but yeah, I definitely tried to handle that in a way that someday if Ethan ever saw social media, ever saw videos, ever heard anything around town, that he would be proud of who I was and how I handled it. So that was pretty much like my mindset, because there's a lot of things I could have thrown out on the internet. There's a lot of like tea I could have spilt, but I really wanted I wanted my son to be proud of me, and things that you put on the internet don't go away anymore. And so I just wanted him, like when he's older, to just be proud of how I handled stuff. So that was my driving force for how all that went down. All right, the next one says that they assumed that I was a boring mom when they first saw my page, and I'm now so sorry. Well, I'm glad that you've decided I'm not boring. That's so funny. This next one says, it makes you nervous that you're older than Ted. Now, I'm 6.5 years older than Ted. At first, it really did kind of like make me really insecure. I was used to hanging out with people older than me. I was always the youngest, so that was definitely a change. Now it doesn't bother me, and I like forget half the time because he's far more mature than I am. I'm like the immature one between us. I like laugh at farts and that kind of stuff, and he's like doesn't think it's funny. Or I'll like laugh uncontrollably about something that he's like, it's not funny, you should not be laughing at that, control yourself. And I'm like, I literally cannot control my laughter. This next one says, you always have your ish together. I try. I try to have my ish together, but I definitely don't have it together all the time. But I really do try to kind of like keep myself composed, keep things, I try to. All right, you're a really good cook. I like to think that I'm a good cook. I'm not like one of those people that can just whip up some random ingredients and make like a delicious meal. I definitely am good at making my staples, but I do like to learn new recipes. So I think I'm a good cook if I can follow a recipe, but I'm definitely not somebody that can just put random ingredients together and make some fantastic dish. I assume you'd be a fun shopping buddy. I would. A lot of my friends aren't allowed to shop with me because they spend too much money. So I need new shopping buddies. You're a lot of fun and easily going and organized. I am a lot of fun. I try to be easygoing. I am a little bit of like I kind of like a routine. I like things a little structured. I like being on time. I get frustrated when people aren't on time, so I'm not super go with the flow. I can be go with the flow if I don't have an expectation of how something is supposed to go. Then I'm a little bit more easygoing, but I wish I was like more fun and spontaneous. And I am somewhat organized, but again, I've talked about that part in a couple of these other assumptions. This one made me snort laugh. Every time you hear a corny Benji commercial, you cringe. That like made me laugh so hard. If you live in Reading, I mean, his commercials are everywhere. They're on TV, they're on billboards, they used to be on buses and at bus stops and at the movie theater and on the radio and on TV, like literally everywhere. But the commercials, if you've seen them, you know. This one says, I think you're very laid back, but also take care of business and you have a big heart. Definitely think I have a big heart. I definitely take care of business, and I can be laid back given, like, depending on the circumstance. I assume you are a go-getter and you go after your goals. Kind of already touched on that one too. I'm definitely in a season of being inspired and motivated and excited again, which is so nice. This next one is you're super confident. Sometimes, like, I go through phases where I'm really confident, and then I go through some pretty insecure phases. I'm kind of like in this in-between where I'm feeling kind of like I'm feeling myself a little bit, but then like I'm pretty insecure and self-conscious about my body lately, just because I talk about this in my Q&A that may or may not be up. So if you haven't seen it, it's coming up. If it's already up, then go check it out. And I kind of talk all about that. And somebody had asked what my struggles were. I think those were all of the assumptions you guys had. I was pleasantly surprised. None of them were too difficult to answer. And you guys were pretty nice. So the common consensus is that I'm rich, and I have OCD, and I don't like to leave my house without makeup on, which is just so funny because, yeah, not rich. I don't think I'm OCD. That's definitely more Ted. Ted's a little OCD. I mean, he spent like 45 minutes cleaning the TV the other day, like cleaning the TV screen. So he's definitely far more OCD than I am. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was super fun. It was interesting to see what you guys thought, like your assumptions of who I am, about my life, based on just what you see on social media. But I hope this allowed you to kind of get to know me a little bit better as well. And yeah, I just thought it was super fun. So I'm excited to be back. I'm excited to be filming again. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.